Well, good evening, peeps. I'm Lipstickpaddy, the host for today, and you're listening to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. Of course, you're watching, aren't you? I'm in radio mode. And here we are with Borderlands, Mr. Torque's Arena of Badassery. Trademark. And registered trademark on Borderlands. You can see I'm backing this for everything that's going in here. Why? Because I'm very hyped about this coming in. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. Played the first, second, and third. Yeah, the one that I've not played is the point and click thingy wiggy, which is on my Steam wish list. I'll probably get it when it's 90% off. I'm in no immediate thing to pull another story content out of it. Because really, when you play Borderlands, it's a looter shooter. You're running around getting loot. And getting all these different guns and stuff, changing up the gameplay as you play the game. And this is what we have here, is that you're going from scenario to scenario, and you're basically shooting up all the enemies and the baddies to get super loot as your weapons get better and better as you go through it. Certain enemies will be resistant probably to certain resistances, so you've got to switch out guns, and it's a good reason to have multiple different types of guns with your character. And all that stuff, and there's going to be good combinations of the characters when you're fighting, because one will be able to weaken them, one will be able to set fire more weaken than someone else, etc, etc. Some will do AoE attacks to take out minions, one will do a big attack, one will be range, one will be close. There's like loads of strategies between all the different weapons. Now, there has been 332 questions. There's a lot of confusion in the comments, partly because there's no FAQ, because it's what's known as a living FAQ. They will be pulling out of the comments to arrange their FAQ going forwards. There is an obvious question, which is what languages is it coming in, because it's in English. There's no mention of any other language support, although it's probably, as a guess, waiting to see how big the community is. Well, there's already 153 from Australia, 79 from France, 65 from Spain. If this gets above maybe 200, maybe it will do language support. I think this is a surprise, because the game does, the video game would be supported, very much so. Now, the scenarios that I'm talking about here, these appear to be hunts, and there is a campaign, and it mentions the campaigns. So there are multiple campaigns here. The way the scenario playing out is essentially, you look at the scenario book or the campaign book, you lay out the tiles as it says, and it tells you what type of enemies are going to be spawning out, and you're basically going to be trying to kill everything on the map. That's how it works. When you kill an enemy, you're basically pulling from a bag to actually put loot on the ground. So you're randomly pulling from a bag. That loot might be your weapon, or it could be cash, or any kind of loot that you could think of. You have to go to it to pick it up. And there is this Mr. Torque who is going to be doing the events as go on. These events are not going to be nice. They are going to be like taking all the ammo away from you that round, so you've got to do melee. They're possibly anyone who's doing a lot of damage is going to get focus on them. The enemies are going to try and really go gun-ho on them. There's like loads of things happening. It's fairly interesting as a dynamic combat system when you're fighting. I have to say though that the tiles here, which look just some generic plain desert combo here, this is massively work in progress. The tiles, expect these tiles maybe to have some kind of terrain feature, some kind of acid pools on them, some kind of colourful pink and vibrant alien, basically post-apocalyptic fauna that you get in the video games. It's not all this bland desert that you have here. So expect more signature tiles as it goes through. In fact, this Kickstarter feels a little bit premature with the way we're coming in here, but they have confirmed that it is super work in progress, the tiles. In fact, these pictures are basically from the early prototype that has gone out, and which is a little bit of a thing which will probably get changed. The Kickstarter will get changed. It's going to be another 20 days, so it's rolling right past my birthday, which is the 22nd, and which is going to be part of my Christmas birthday bundle, I think, is putting this on the pledge, 160. So yeah, nice. This could even be more. People are expecting more expansions in the middle in 10 days' time, so another big drop to come. Who knows where this is going? People are thinking this is going to go the way of a Simon Kickstarter, which is interesting. Now, it's from Monster Fight Club, and I covered them over a year ago when they did Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone, which was a skirmish miniature game. People actually really love that. There's people from that project who are on the Borderlands project, and they said the mini quality was superb in Cyberpunk Red. In fact, why would we not be surprised the minis are really good? Because they've been doing scenery as well. And Tentacle Town, which has come to retail, that was like crowdfunded years ago, but they were more likely known for sculptures and then miniatures, and now that's where they got this license from Borderlands themselves. Now, this first 48 hours, people are like, must have clicked on an advert or something and pledged this, and then going in the comments and going, am I getting the free Ravenous Wattler Goppler? When did the campaign start? There's these kind of questions, and it's like, well, if you're seeing this first 48 hours back this, then you're going to get it. This image will disappear. In fact, the community, new backers 124, they are vocal, I would say, in the comments, and they are kind of saying, how do I know if I've got it? Well, if you see this sign, you have it. New boss fight. Sounds great. Wattle Gobbler, 3 Wattle Goblets, which are little versions of this. Digital scenario. What? Hang on a second. This video is like within, I'd say, 8 hours of the campaign, and we're already up at this amount of backers. If this gets to 5,000 backers before the 48 hours, why don't you just print out the scenario? It seems like there's 5,000 backers. You can't put this in a little box and have this scenario out. I don't know. Hopefully this digital scenario will become printed, and especially if it becomes an add-on. So yeah, this is going to be what's known as a hunt scenario. We'll talk about them when we go down. Now, so this is the Mr. Torgue here, this douchebag. He's put his thumb and 2 fingers there. I think that is sign language for I love you. American sign language for I love you. Sign language is different in each country, but I think that means I love you if you do that to somebody. Anyway, it's quite funny. So, map tiles work in progress. A lot of these minis are getting replaced because I'm going to have to say, first 10 minutes of the Kickstarter, there was lots of copy-paste minis, but it just busted out stretch goals as quick as they could list them on the page, and there's lots of individual sculpts now coming out from the team, which was impressive. So everything you're seeing here is changing. It's funny because they have these coloured bases that they're putting on enemies here, but if the enemies keep unlocking and becoming mini individual sculpts, you might not even need that. On this map, you can see like an enemy's face with some red icons. Editor, if you just highlight that, that's kind of a spawn closet where they're going to be coming out of, and you need to kind of take them out as you go. You have got quite a lot more mobility with your characters to actually move around fairly fast, and that's why I'd like to have some kind of terrain tiles on it where it's slowly to get through stuff if it was hilly or I don't know. And it's like these parts of the map here where it goes very thin, Why couldn't that be like a bridge going across? Because they have lots of interesting ways in the Borderlands game where the map becomes tight, going across bridges, broken bridge having to go under it. Like, it could definitely tell the story a little bit different, these tiles, and they are double-sided, so they could really have a different terrain here. So I really expect this to completely become more Borderlandsy in its type. And instead of having these spawn closets, this whole area where they're spawning from could be a little stronghold, a little village or something, and if you blow that up, you also can go inside there and get some loot from there. Normally, if you're going in the rat's nest in Borderlands, there's usually a nice beautiful chest waiting for you, so I would prefer if that was the case. There's an odd thing going on with this game, and you need to play all four. Well, you have to play 4 characters. There are more characters getting unlocked. So, yeah, you're gonna. It's not like these characters are as complex as a Gloomhaven or a Midara character, though. I mean, these are simple characters. They're just going to be firing their gun, or they're going to be moving them, and they're all going to be rolling dice. Not too bad. You do have a mechanic where you can mitigate the dice. You've got 3 tokens, I think, which is like luck, which makes you re-roll and stuff. The weapons have really cool, interesting things, and when you're rolling like a d10, if it gets a 10, it's a crit. If you get a 1, it's a critical miss. There's functions on the enemy cards that if you get a critical miss, they actually could counter-attack you or walk towards you, stuff like this. If you get a critical hit, it can then give you a bonus roll, which could do an AoE attack. All these guns could have poisons on them and lots of different elemental attacks, which give you bonuses and all this stuff. Might need to be careful on certain enemies. Certain damage types might actually heal the enemy, and there's all sorts of interesting mechanics that comes from the Borderlands video game, which is going to bleed into this game. Everything they're doing is getting ticked off by by the dev team, Gearbox and 2K. So yeah, if I'm running Gearbox, I don't want the first big board game to have a map like this. It has to change, and I imagine that's going to be the one big thing we see differently, is the map, these tiles. So one solo coming out the gate, absolutely looking very good. Some people crying out for certain characters from the Borderlands franchise. Yeah, they're getting unlocked. There's some interesting characters. Mozzie here, the gunner lady, she can, once she's powered up herself, she can actually upgrade to the Iron Bear, and that's when this big mech comes out. Mordecai here with a sniper rifle, he also has this pet bat. So they're like different classes that you can see that you're picking from. The enemies, they really have some big bosses here. And for example, these big fat bellies on the right, they've got like a box on their head. If you damage them, you can knock their head off, and then they turn to the big baddie on the left, and they're real hard to take down. You can see the copycat miniatures here, but the miniatures are got melee people that run at you, people attacking from mage. You've got like these little dwarf gnome midgets running around as well. That can be hard to hit. We've also got the dogs of these minions as well that run towards you, and all that good stuff. So 80 double-sided hexes are not finished at all. It needs a pass, maybe 2 passes of art completely. We can get a little bit of feature that they're thinking about putting some kind of things on there, but it really needs to have more, doesn't it? But it looks here like if you turn it upside down, you've got some kind of interior base. So maybe there is plans, especially in the scenario, to go towards an area, and then the next scenario is inside that compound. So we don't know. This theory crafting at the minute, and there's going to be a lot to be uncovered through this Kickstarter, And in fact, this is just an early first impressions, this video. I'm possibly going to come back for a update. Might do some updates on this as we go through, because it's going to be like, I'm going to want to be covering it because I love the project, what it potentially could turn into. Even the skill trees here are very, very early. They look so basic at the minute, and I don't know why the character sheets are so small. There are people calling in the comments for a character board, and why the hell not? You are going to be getting experience points though that you can put in and unlock certain stuff with your classes, which is nice. And even if you're playing 2-player, I think it'd be fun to try out 2 of these characters. All these tokens as well, they have a fantastic upgrade to make them acrylic, which sounds my bells for one. Yay! Coming out the game. The loot bag here, which looks as boring as can be, looks like a gym bag for someone at high school. Please, let's hope that gets addressed with some kind of deluxified version. Odd kinds of dice as well, depending on what weapon you're using. Now, once you finish a scenario, or during the campaign, once you finish the mission, you get to go on. You get to sell weapons you've found, and go to these machines, these vending machines. There is a vending machine that has been unlocked, which potentially could be going on the map, so you might be able to go to a vending machine in the middle of a map, which is going to be interesting, because one of the things about this game is all the different drops that you're going to be getting. The Torgue shop on the right here, that specifically deals with legendary guns and stuff like that. Now, normally in the game, at the ammo dump, it's not just grenades and ammo you're getting, but you should be able to get some kind of modifications that you can do on the guns. This has not been mentioned, but it's possibly some kind of expansion unlock. We're expecting more expansions where you can modify your weapons so that there's a little bit of crafting. And maybe a little bit of crafting armor, maybe, because you can die fairly quickly here. You can get ganked if you get too close. You can certainly get ganked. Now, lots of people are saying, why do you have to pay for stretch goals? Why is it that the basic pledge doesn't include stretch goals? Well, let me tell you, peeps, these stretch goals are going to go in an expansion box when it goes to retail. That's why. This early pledge is the retail pledge. The other expansion box is simply the Kickstarter unlocks. That'll probably go to a second expansion. This has almost become standard fare on Kickstarter. Although it's easy for me to say, right? Because I'm covering Kickstarter. I've been covering it now on this channel for 18 months, I want to say. Probably longer. And this franchise, there's going to be people coming in here from the video game. They don't really know board games. They don't know how Kickstarter's working. Now, the Mordecai's bat, the base has a little bit of terrain on, but the other minis, it's just flat bottoms. I'm not that impressed by that, and I'm thinking you're probably going to want to add your own texture to the bottom anyway. It's deserty, so you know, just sand. You're going to probably glue and sand the bottom and have a bit of rocks and rubble and stuff on them, I'd guess. But for example, the sniper, he could be like with a knee up on a rock or something. And I think that what we're looking at here, mini-wise, these are really early anyway, so... All these copy-paste minis, thankfully, are getting unlocked. I'm glad they're unlocking them. Instead of just giving us more minis like Common are doing, they're actually giving you different poses and changing some of these into female, and it's really good to see what's happening. So that's the base. We've just seen that up here. This is the expansion. You get 40 new tiles, so that doubles your tiles that you get to play with. There's going to be another campaign in here, the Big Game Hunt campaign, where you're specifically hunting out big monsters or even, I'm going to say, enemies, big bad bosses. More cards and loot coming out here, and more different events are happening and all that good stuff. These little skag things are commonplace. They're ubiquitous in the video games. It's nice to see them coming in, but you've got to get the expansion. We really want to know how big the campaigns are, and if you get the expansion, is it a linear path? Can you do the expansion can you do the campaign in the base and then carry it through in the expansion? Is that a potential thing you can do? And if so, can your character continue with its leveling? Can you get like higher levels out if you go into this campaign? That'd be really sweet if you could, because it makes sense. You need to have the base game to play Skag at the Gates. If you've got the base game and you go through its campaign, your characters will be at a certain level, possibly level maxed. Why at Skags of the Gates don't they do more leveling, extra levels to your character? It's almost what I would expect to see. So fingers crossed. There's lots happening here, and it's not going to come out for another year anyway. It says November 2022. So at the minute, this expansion only has more tiles, cards, a campaign, and these Skag minis, plus the stretch goals. So who knows what's coming. Now it says optional buys, plural, add-ons, plural. The Ravenous Wattle Gobber. This is some kind of hunt, isn't it? Like this digital scenario. There's loads of people backing it that are getting this for free or are going to add it on. And if you're selling this at retail for 30 MSRP, you're going to print it out. So it just makes no sense for this digital scenario. I don't even know why that's there. They really need to announce they're going to add it in. But this add-on's going to go straight into the game. You're going to get more cards. More random events that are happening between all the scenarios and campaign. Now then, the Ravenous Wattle Gopper, 20 more cards. And then the digital PDF, which is a bit bad. Skags at the Gates. This is the expansion. It does mention here Skagzilla, which is like the big boss of the Skags. You've also got 2 alphas as well. This is part of the game hunt. Just gives a bit more information here. And it says in this strange print, very low quality, product shown is not final, subject to license approval from Gearbox. So, yeah. The Big Hunt campaign book, how big is it? We need to know the pages here. We need to know the length of the content. We need to know, can your characters get stronger when they get here? Are the drops in here better weapons as well? So there's a beautiful character growth as you go through this expansion. That's the hope. Acrylic add-on pack. Stuck that on my pledge. Absolutely, I love acrylic pieces. It feels premium when you do. D6, D8, D12, D10, D4. Yes, the team has come from a miniature 2-player game that had lots of scenario fighting, which was a really very welcome addition to the 2 skirmish games. So they brought this into a game that seems to have scenarios and campaign, which is lovely. Got all your favourite heroes from the series. Keeps its multiplayer aspect too. I think what's missing as well is playthrough videos. We've got one person who explains the turns, and then the same person does like an hour playthrough, which is okay. I mean, to get your research under it, it looks fun. Scenario layout. Does look a little bare though, and the layout is just like slap any old random tile down, and I wish they were designed a little more with a little finesse. Yeah, so on these cards you've got at the bottom of the card like the level, so 1 star is like level 1, the 2 stars is like level 2. And as you go through the campaign, these events do scale in difficulty. And this kind of event, like watching a train wreck, if you roll a fumble on an attack in a spotlight token, that's if you get a 1 on the dice, you're going to fumble the attack. Everyone's then going to attack you. Interesting stuff. So this is what makes it different than any other type of skirmish game, is you've got this announcer, because he's petting in the backside basically, and it looks like the events are all going to be bad. I don't know, there should be some kind of hope where he's throwing some stuff in for you. I don't know. Event deck though, it does say they can be beneficial. Vault Hunters can refresh action dice. Can give the enemies different types of ammo. Give the enemies extra attack. Spawn a mini boss. So yeah, there's some nasty stuff in there. Like these loot tokens coming out. Do like this. Coming from a bag. Put on the ground. I have seen like an event that said that if there's any drops on the ground, they disappear. I don't really like that. It's a really bad idea to put that in, because it's a looter shooter, and if the loot disappears, it's like, what? It's like there's a bug in the video game. Where's the loot gone? That was a legendary drop and now it's gone. Like, you'd be really miffed. I don't know why that's in the game. That would be gamed out immediately. Bounties though, yeah, bounties are a special type of loot token. When you finish the game that you're playing, a bounty card is drawn with a unique enemy and a bounty hunt scenario. So you're going to get a side mission from this. Vault Hunters can then choose to pursue the bounty for the next scenario to earn extra rewards. This is lovely, because the bounties are going to have their own either mega amount of money or some kind of legendary weapon type, most likely. After the game, you do visit the vending machines. You're going to flip 5 cards of each vending machine, and you can then purchase what you want from them. Nice. Skill trees. When you complete the scenario, that's when you level up. You can go through the skill tree. They don't look interesting enough, though, and it's because they're kind of on cards. Like, make it bigger. Look at other games that are doing skill trees and stuff like that. Yeah, bosses is going to be a final challenge in a campaign. And let's hope there's more. I don't know what the difference is in these campaigns or whatever, but just say that the boss fights themselves are going to be almost a scenario. They're going to have a unique announcement deck, an event deck to make the battle extra thematic. The bosses are always have this kind of unique stuff going on. Loot explosion going on. Hopefully we'll see more gameplay videos. I think we're getting some painted minis as well. They're going to show us what the minis look like painted, because the pictures they've got here are so low resolution that you can't really get much from them, can you? Psycho Craig. He's a playable character. New Psycho pose. Scar bounty. Hopefully we're going to get models for these bosses. These bounty cards and scenarios allow you to hunt Scar in the arena and avenge TK's leg. Hopefully that is part of the lore of the campaign, because that doesn't make any sense to anyone coming in here who doesn't know the franchise. Clap Trap as a Vault Hunter. So you can use this guy in combat? What's going on? Has he ever been used in combat? Well, he's going to join him in battle. The silver lining is you get to see him get him killed repeatedly. What is going on with this character? I have no idea. Some more poses coming. This is great to see. And these upgrades to the minis are kind of in between them, because it's going from 100k new model, 150 new model, and in between them we're getting alternate pose and bounty scenario. So pose, bounty scenario, new model. We're getting, this is a vending machine, an optional model. What's going on here? Is this going to go on the map? It almost sounds like you're unlocking a different type of vending machine. It's odd. This iconic, get a free vending machine to upgrade one of your vending machine objective tokens to a model. I don't know how this works. I'd love to see what this explains. To upgrade one of your vending machine objective tokens to a model. It says this goal also unlocks the Monster Fight Club, i.e. the company that's doing the game, objective pack add-on to upgrade all of your game's objective tokens to models. So it's not just a free vending machine, it's all of the models that are in cardboard or getting into models. That seriously needs an update. They have said they've been overloaded on this first day. They've gone to bed basically, and they said tomorrow they're going to catch up on all this stuff. So that's why there's like loads of questions going on here. Another bounty, the Loot Goon Goliath. Sounds lovely. Maya. It's like the sculpt they've got for Maya here. She always is known to have this cowl. It's like a mage's cowl. And on the mini, it's lacking, isn't it? It's not, she's not even got it up. So, yeah, put the cowl back on the mini. What's happening here? New Psycho Pose coming. 2 different female poses for this one, so it's good to see the mixing that up a bit. Scrappy, another boss. And Lilith here, the redhead firehawk, she has been unlocked. Like I said, the team are asleep. This has totally been unlocked. They are way past 450k. Estimated shipping costs. It's not bad that the maximum shipping at the minute is going to be $60. When I backed it, it did say Mexico is available. It does ship to anywhere in the world apart from these countries down here. And we don't know what the shipping's going to be. Well, November 2022 hopefully should be better. So yeah, like shipping at the minute, everyone's like, I don't know. We don't know what it's going to be. It's just uncertainty. Hopefully this time next year, the backlogs and all that will have been reduced. All right, there we go. We're basically on day 1 here. We still don't know about what these unlocks are that we're getting. Are we going to get models for the bosses? What's the plan for the upgrade trees? Because they look like they're just on the back of a card, and why haven't they actually got why haven't you got a character sheet? The loot and the combat all looks good. The tiles, we need some variability in the tiles, definitely, with different art and stuff on them, and even potentially strategy. Strategic playing on the cards. I don't know. The bag as well. Is that going to upgrade it? That bag. What's going on with the bag? It looks like I say, a secondary school bag. So there's lots of different ways this can totally get stretched out, and it looks like on day one it's gone bananas. It's kind of came out a little bit out of the blue, like people going, how long's this been out? Like confusion. So this definitely is going to be upwards of 500,000, I'd say, before you see this video, which is going to go out in the morning, tomorrow morning. Because of my schedule at the minute, I'm trying to push out different Kickstarters because I was busy at this front end of this week, so I've had to put things on the back of this week. But hey, you know, you've got loads of time to back these games. In fact, you'll still have 24 hours to back this game and get the Wattle Gobbler, or Ravenous Wattle Gobbler. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when I do videos and all that jazz. And of course we have our Sunday show, radio show, where we talk about Kickstarter news of the week. We play loads of music. Yeah, this Sunday's going to be talking about all the games this week. We're going to be talking about the Wheel of Time, how that's progressing. Because as soon as this video starts processing, I'm going to watch episode 5 of the amazing Wheel of Time series, which I love. Read that twice. I've read it twice. Love it. So yeah, this is first impressions. You might say day 0. I might have to come back in 10 days and do a secondary video telling you all the stuff, because things are massively subject to change, and hopefully we'll see an evolution of this project going forward. If I don't see an evolution from day 0, I might have to pull my pledge, because there is some concern here, and I'm tentatively backing it early, hoping for great stuff as it goes forward. So hopefully they've got a good campaign going forward, announcing things, and by the end of it I can definitely recommend it. But at the minute, do I recommend it tentatively? Yes, there's a lot of promise here, and obviously I think the plan coming in here is to drip feed loads of stuff out. So the stretch goals so far have been all interesting stuff, and who knows where it's going to go. I expect it to go upwards of 1 million. Can we say it's 1 million? But who knows? We're in December. Lots of companies avoid December. This is kind of breaking the rule. Well, you know, you've got Skyrim, which is not collecting until first week of December, is it? And this one's going right up to near Christmas as well. So are people gonna say, for Christmas I want the Borderlands Mr. Torgue Arena of Badassery full pledge, please, Daddy? Is that what's happening? That you're willing to forgo a gift at Christmas and wait for it, hopefully, to get delivered the next Christmas, not the previous one, but yeah, you're gonna wait 12 months. You're gonna wait for the next Christmas to get your game of choice. Interesting philosophy. And if it does break 1 million, this could set December to be a month where more Kickstarters come out. But it is funny, isn't it? Because in the world of video games, all the video games pop out in November. There's like a race to get the video game out in November. In December, you don't really see any new releases because they are frightened that people won't buy video games in December. It's like, are they really frightened of people not buying their game in December? What's going on? And I think here we're seeing Borderlands board game here break the trend here and might set a new precedence going forward. But you know, I'm all for big competition on Kickstarter between all the games. It's certainly an interesting thing, and my shortlist, which is usually 2 games, has now gone to 1 because this is bang at the shortlist, tentatively released, and we'll see what happens in the game. But I am fully optimistic, and hopefully this game's going to go bananas. But I do want to see change, just like the Skyrim. The Skyrim Game Phone pledge, that on day 1 completely changed to where it is now today. They've updated the whole page to show all the updates and all that stuff, and hopefully Borderlands page gets upgraded and when they get more stuff coming in. So yeah, Monster Fight Club, I've hopefully got good hope in what you're going to bring to this Kickstarter, Monster Bike Club, and hope you can do this franchise a justice, because this is a beloved video game franchise. It really is. It's Gearbox Software's baby. It is the game that brought them to where they are today. And God knows do they need to treat this title correctly, because just like Skyrim is one of the most beloved PC titles on the market, Borderlands is a beloved title in the video game industry. So yes, what a franchise, and what a board game this could be. Lots of potential. So we just have to see what to expect in the next few days. An FAQ will arise, updates will come in, more updates, hopefully on good stuff, telling us what the stretch goals have been unlocked, of course, talking about the campaigns. There's a lot really that they can do, and hopefully get some more videos from different YouTubers. I think that's also going to be helpful for it. But without all that stuff, without everything I think it needs, it's still got 3,500 backers on it, more, pushing 4,000, and goodness knows where it can go. But I will be following this game like a hawk, baby. Totally. So yeah, what do you think of this Borderlands game? Is it a little bit early and premature like I think it is? If you've got any questions about the franchise, please knock them into the comments below, because I'll be happy to question anything. But what a series. What a series. Look at it, just going up. I love watching Kickstarters rise in pledges. And look at those. It's going up and down. It's going up and down. Anyhow, peeps, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you like the content, and subscribe. You'll get the information when our videos go live, and especially our Sunday Kickstarter. And remember, if you follow the podcast, you will get that when it goes live with all the music inside the video, inside the podcast, because when it goes to YouTube, it all gets trimmed. There's a reason for the delay, and you only get my commentary. You don't get any of the great music. And this Sunday I am going to be doing Christmas music, of course. We're in December. Let's make it festive and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for watching. There we go. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and bye bye for now.